Hey there, Bmcc Youth. It's Pastor Nate here, and I got another video for you as we are continuing our series called Mine, which is about us taking our faith and making it our own and turning it from not our parents' faith and not our friends' faith, but our own faith. Okay, go along with me. In your minds, I want you to go back to your very first day of school. How was it? Were you anxious? Were you scared? I remember middle school and high school, both of those times, it was crazy. I was terrified / excited at the same time. A lot of times that's how we are. It's like 10% excitement and 90% of like being scared. But the other thing that I want to point out to you is it's not really the actual first day of school that is terrifying, especially once you're in high school or middle school. It's the night before that actually is the worst part. It's that anxiety-filled night, that night where you don't get much sleep, where you're thinking and overthinking so much. That's the night. And that's the time that makes it so much worse. But one thing is for sure, you survived it. School, you went to that first day and you survived. And not only did you survive, but you thrived. You learned that it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. Chances are some of you guys have had turning points in your life. Points in your life that have taken you a direction that you didn't want to go. Maybe it was your best friend moved to another state. Maybe it's your dad lost his job or you guys lost your house. Maybe you had been dating someone for a long time and you guys broke up. Maybe a family member of yours has cancer. Or maybe one of your parents walked out on you and your family didn't know what to do. Or maybe you've had a sports injury that caused you to miss a season. Or maybe one of your exes is dating one of your friends. Maybe one of your parents got remarried and that person they married isn't a big fan of yours. Maybe you've had some friends stop being your friend. But the key is to what those events do. Those events that shake our worlds, those events that push us in a direction that we didn't want to go. The key is to turn those into faith-building opportunities. And not only that, but how it becomes a faith-building opportunity is how we respond to those things. In most faith stories, you see these random encounters, these out of the blue situations that arise that turn someone's life in a different direction. Most people have that kind of story in their life about the time that their faith became more serious. But these turning moments are defining moments. Moments where you felt like God was so far away. But then he ended up being so much closer than you ever thought that he was. One of the best illustrations that we have of turning points and what they can bring is from Jesus. So Jesus had a good friend named Lazarus, and Lazarus had gotten sick. And so what naturally does Lazarus do? He calls on Jesus for help. Now we read in John chapter 11 verse 1. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. So Lazarus is sick. Things aren't looking good. The sister sent word to Jesus. Lord, the one you love is sick. When he heard this, Jesus said, the sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory. Sometimes negative things happen to us. And sometimes God allows those negative things to happen so that way we can learn about Him and ourselves better. And so that way the people watching us can learn from us as well. In tough times, God works in you so he can work through you. Let me say that again. Sometimes in dark times, God can work in you so he can work through you. So the story continues that the illness ends up killing Lazarus. But Jesus takes this terrible situation that it was to grow people's faith. The death of his closest friend was worth it because it helped people's trust in God. Because Jesus ultimately healed and brought back to life Lazarus. He used it for the glory of God. In the emotion of circumstances, when we face them, the question is, who is Jesus really? When life gets hard and we experience difficult times, whether it's with home, friends, life, our health, whatever it is, we tend to think that Jesus is nowhere near us. We tend to think that he's as far away from us as we could possibly imagine. It is possible to go through one of the toughest things in life, whatever that is for you, and to come through with a stronger faith and a stronger relationship with God. Because here's the truth, guys. At some point, you are going to reach one of these turning points in life. Whether you've already experienced some of them, if you haven't, you will at some point. Because that's what our life has. It's filled with turning points. So that is something that you need to take into consideration. And through those dark times and through those turning points and those hard, difficult times, you have a choice to abandon everything that you know to be true, or to trust and hang in there and follow God deeper than you ever have before. And I promise you that if you choose to trust God in the turning points and the darkness and the tough times, that he will pull you through and he will make your faith stronger than it ever have been before in your life. I promise you that. But you got to remember that when we are going through these hard times and these turning points, that people are watching. People are watching how you're going to respond. And not only is your faith on the line, but maybe the faith and salvation of another person is on the line as well. That's totally something to take into consideration, is how you respond can affect people around you. Throughout all of history, God has been using these turning points in these hard times, in these difficult situations, to bring people closer to him and to help people grow their faith even stronger. We see that from the very beginning to the very end of the Bible. It's filled with all sorts of information about that. But the key is to hang in there and to trust God with all that we are and to help us make our faith our very own. That's all I got for you guys this week. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you guys are staying in contact with your small groups. I hope you guys are watching these videos. I'm going to send, well, I'm not going to send anything. I'm just kidding. But I do have a bit of an announcement for next week's video if you guys are watching. I'm getting married next Tuesday. So April 14th, I will be getting married. And on the 17th, we are moving into our house. And yeah, so next week I won't have any, we won't be doing any of the videos. And what I've been doing is I've been starting a Proverbs Bible study on Instagram Live on my personal account. So if you guys want to join in that, I do that on Thursdays at 7 p.m. If you want to join in on that, it's not super long. It's really fun getting to interact with you guys on that. But if you want to, you can just follow me and be a part of that. But next week, I won't have anything for you because I'll be getting married. So I love you guys. I look forward to the day that we can be together again and I get to see your faces. I'll see you guys later.